Welcome to Orioles Digest. I'm your host, Kam Brice. And before you do anything, hit that subscribe button. Come join the channel and give you daily updates about the Baltimore Orioles that you don't want to miss. We have breaking news involving the Baltimore Orioles. They have recently just signed one pitcher that a lot of people probably would not be happy about. Jeff Passan said earlier today, right-hander Charlie Morton and the Baltimore Orioles are in agreement on a one-year, $15 million contract. Sources tell ESPN. Now, Charlie Morton was not good at all last season. Let's take a look at his stats. In 30 games pitched, he had a 4.19 ERA. Now, he did pitch over 160 innings, which is a good thing. He's going to stay consistent and he's going to be healthy throughout the whole year. But 23 home runs allowed, 167 strikeouts, that is a lot. But 154 hits is warning. Is this a good or bad decision for the Baltimore Orioles? I wouldn't say it's a bad decision. I also wouldn't say it's a great decision. It's a pretty average decision. They got a guy who's 41 years old, has a ton of experience in the MLB, who has stayed healthy over the course of his career, but has never been that top of the rotation guy. Maybe this will be a scenario where the Baltimore Orioles bring in Charlie Morton to be their 4 or 5 guy. Keep with me. Trade K. Povich or even Dean Kramer. Throw Dylan Beavers in that conversation. And you go out, get a guy like Luis Castillo or Dylan Cease. I'm thinking they have a trade in the works or around that formula. That's why they're getting Charlie Morton. I expect them to go out and get Max Scherzer. A lot of reports were saying they're interested in Max Scherzer, but Charlie Morton is the better move. He's a guy who's in the same year of age as Max Scherzer, might not have the elite stuff that Scherzer had or probably still has a little bit of, but he can stay healthy and you can trust throughout him through a whole season. This will be like the same situation they had with Kyle Gibson. I don't think this is a bad move. I also don't think this is a good move. Even moving Heston Kjerstad or Ramon Urias or Dylan Beavers, like I mentioned earlier, that's what you have to do to make this a World Series championship team, because right now I project this team to win about 90 to 92 games. I don't think this will be one of the strongest teams in the AL East. Now let's get to Luis Castillo. What would a potential trade package look like for him? I think you could offer Chase McDermott, Dylan Beavers, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but Heston Kjerstad. Yes, you can get rid of Heston Kjerstad. You're giving up on Heston Kjerstad, who's one of your best outfield prospects, and then you're giving up on Dylan Beavers, who's your second best outfield prospect. But let's not forget, Enrique Bradfield Jr. is on the way. Enrique Bradfield Jr. should be in the MLB by next season. Now, they also could go out, possibly try to get a guy like Jackson Profar if they end up trading Heston Kjerstad. And you still have a guy like Ryan Mountcastle. I don't think they end up trading Ryan Mountcastle. I would rather trade Heston Kjerstad than Ryan Mountcastle. I feel like Ryan Mountcastle is so much more productive to this lineup. You can insert Mountcastle in any situation. I don't think Kobe Mayo is ready for the MLB yet. Until Kobe Mayo can show us that he can be an MLB ready level hitter every time he steps into that box, then I think the Baltimore Orioles move on from him. But the plan for Kobe Mayo next season, I think you start him in AAA. You see how he does in spring training. Actually, if he comes out in spring training and dominates, then you have to move him to the MLB. But if he doesn't, he goes to AAA. You bring him up a couple times, see how he does. Then you evaluate Kobe Mayo's season as it goes on. But for right now, I think you hold on to Ryan Mountcastle. I think you move a guy like Dylan Beavers or Heston Kjerstad because once again, you still have a lot of outfielders in the system, and Vance Honeycutt will be on the way in 2 years. So that's another guy that you have to fill the void for, because when he's here, you want him to be in the outfield because of his potential, because of his superstar potential that he has. You want him to be an everyday player. So if they don't feel very high on Heston Kjerstad, Move him right now for Dylan Cease. Add Dylan Beaver. Add Chase McDermott. At some point, you have to start moving these prospects. In the MLB right now, everyone knows that the Baltimore Orioles are holding on to prospects. And agents, players, they're not going to sign to the Baltimore Orioles until they start moving these prospects and guaranteeing contracts and extensions. And that will be the reason why Mike Elias and David Rubenstein move on to that next big step that they really want to. Well, that's all we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me on Orioles Digest. It's been a pleasure. Hit that subscribe button and keep coming back to support the channel.